Benvenuti a tutti, eccoci nel nostro webinar live di The Language Center. Benvenuto al nostro speaker, Scott Ellis. Grazie di essere qua con noi, Scott.
Well, thank you, Mauro.
E
It's a
bene.
pleasure to be here.
Bene, ringraziamo anche ovviamente la nostra direttrice, founder di The Language Center. Benvenuta Stefania.
Ciao a tutti.
Bene, e anche Omar, il nostro responsabile commerciale, a cui poi dedicheremo qualche minuto per la parte finale, per raccontarvi un po' tutte le iniziative di The Language Center. Bene, a questo punto
Buonasera.
abbiamo dei ritardatari che si uniranno ovviamente man mano. Io darei la parola a Scott, così iniziamo questo incontro. Prego e parola a Scott. Per quanto riguarda domande e tutti i riferimenti potete farle, ovviamente, ci saranno dei momenti di Q&A e potete anche scriverci nella chat così che vi possiamo aiutare a porre le domande a Scott. Buon lavoro.
Well, thank you, Mauro. And welcome, everybody, to this webinar, The Paradigm Shift of Italy's Green Energy Future. The objective of this webinar is to spark some discussion on the topic and also to get us to open up in a little bit of English. So what we're planning on doing is to go over some key vocabulary, just a little bit, and a touch of grammar, just a little bit, things that you would know and things that you can use during the discussion, which is what we are going to do today. We've got, I guess, Laura and Federica is trying to join with the audio. You know, I think with the audio, you have to click connect with the computer audio. I think that that's the problem that a few people have here. Federica, she can't hear. And then we've got user, not sure who we are. I'll share my screen. Paradigm shift. So what we are going to do today is have a discussion. And before we have this discussion, let's go over some key vocabulary for us to use. So we've got sustainable. Sustainable is either able to continue for a long time with little or no damage to the environment or doing lasting damage to the environment. Which do we think it is? You guys are welcome to participate. So Laura and Federica, when you can join. User, not sure who your name is. This would be able to continue for a long time with no damage. Sustainable. Energy efficient. Uses a lot of energy and gas or uses little energy and gas? Well, if it's energy efficient, we use a lot of electricity and gas. Habitable. So bad living condition, habitable, bad living conditions or good living conditions, those are good living conditions. Moving ahead to renewable, which is what we're talking about today in a big way. Limited supply that cannot be replaced after they have been used, or can be produced as quickly as they are used. Here, it would be the second, can be produced as quickly as they are used. Some key vocabulary that we'll use today. Versatile. Having many different uses or limited to only one use. I would say having many different uses. Now, a few more terms and a bit of discussion. And I would like you guys to speak too. And if you can turn on your camera, it would be nice because then we could have feeling and I could ask you directly. So Laura, if you can turn on the camera, it would be nice. Federica's trying to join with the thing. So I'm going to write Federica. Click button to join with computer audio. If Federica joins with computer audio, she can hear me and we can hear her. So I just sent her a little message. Anyway, we've got a few more terms here. Which two? We have solar panels, ground source heating, hydropower, wind turbines, install a system, produce electricity, reliable, and break down. Vocabulary that we can add to the repertoire today. Which two? Any ideas for who can participate here? Which two items produce energy from the movement of water and wind? You can write it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and give me your thoughts. Or posso parlare un po' in italiano, però il mio italiano è un po' così. Water. So somebody wrote water. Hydropower, we can say. Hydropower is from the movement of water. Wind turbines would be from wind. Have any of you seen wind turbines around Italy? I remember a trip to Bari, and near the border, near the border of Puglia, I noticed a lot of those wind turbines. So it's something big. Have any of you been to Sardinia, northern Sardinia? If I were to put wind turbines someplace, I would put them there because it's always windy when you're there trying to lie on the beach. Then we have two items that describe how energy systems work in a house. How energy systems work in a house are two which describe how well an energy system works and which two use heat or light to produce energy. Well, we have how energy systems work in a house would be solar panels for a house, installing a system, solar panel system. Has anybody ever heard of ground source heating? No? Any idea what it might be?
Yeah, I heard about it. It could be like the ground source heating even in a house right now, no? Also, from the bottom when the heating coming from the ground.
Yes. Yeah, heating coming from the ground. It can be heating,
Actual
and
heat.
I would imagine with the thermal, probably in Iceland, that's the main source. I've got friends in Canada who have a system. It's not really ground source heating, but the water goes deep underground. In the summer, it's cooler. In the winter, it's warmer.
Yeah.
So it's a way to balance things out, and it makes things a lot more efficient. I see Urania, Giulia.
Sì.
What do you know about renewable energy? Do you know a lot about renewable energy, Urania, Giulia?
Yes, a little bit because I am Parliament. I work with Parliament, but I know speak very well English. But I will try to understand you when you will speak about this argument.
Yes, well, I can slow it down too, no problem. Yes. So, do you deal with energy in Parliament?
Yes, because we have a lot of argument because we have to do the rules for construction, for to have come si dice, program of Repower EU, no? Because every country have to do what says the Europe.
The European Union.
I don't
If-
know if my English is very for you to understand.
It is perfect. It's good. We can understand you perfectly. Non stiamo qui perché sappiamo tutti inglesi bene, eh? Stiamo qui perché vogliamo anche migliorare e discutere un pochino in inglese. We're here to challenge ourselves a little bit.
Io voglio migliorare, voglio ascoltare anche i temi dell'ambiente, dell'energia.
Well, you're in the right place. Posto
Yes.
giusto.
Grazie.
I'll share the screen again. I love it when people show their faces because then we can get a little connection going. I know I can ask you questions. Okay, so a few terms here. Let's think about our energy consumption, because getting to know your energy consumption is important. It's an important first step into managing energy efficiently. And a lot of us don't have a very good idea on our own energy consumption. So I have prepared a little survey here, trying to identify our values and then our actions. If you have a pencil or pen and a piece of paper, but who all can speak here? So we have Urania. Is it Urania Julia or just Julia? Oh, can't hear you. You're on mute.
My first name is Urania because I am Greek with Italian mother. So the second name is Julia. The surname is Papatheu. This is typical surname, Greek surname.
Oh, Greek. Wow. Whereabouts in Greek? In Greece?
Yes.
Yeah, whereabouts?
Atene.
Più o meno dove? Atene. Oh, nice.
I was born in Catania from Sicily, but my father is from Atene.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Laura, can you speak? Tu riesci a parlare, Laura?
No.
No.
Doesn't look like.
No, e Federica, lei deve cliccare, di collegare on sound. Se lei lo fa...
Si sente.
Mm.
Oh, I will try to.
Okay, well, at least we've got one person who can participate in this. Urania, think about yourself. Which statement best describes your habit? Actually, well, this is good for Mauro and Omar and everybody. Let's all think about this.
Yes.
I don't really do anything environmentally friendly. Or I do one or two things that are environmentally friendly. Think about you. I do quite a few things that are environmentally friendly. Most things I do are environmentally friendly, or everything I do is environmentally friendly. Let's give ourselves a score. I think I am probably 3 or 4. I think
I do quite a few things that are environmentally friendly. Let's say that.
Yeah, you do quite a few things that are environmentally friendly.
It changed a lot. I lived in Berlin for 6 years, and in Berlin there is a big culture of environmentally friendly, and of course realize how important it is. Realize how it's important to try to give our planet to think about more about our planet, about how we act towards the planet, and there are little action, no, every day that can help a lot.
They
Also,
really add up. Yes.
yeah, I don't want to say more things I do are, but every time I do some action towards environment, I think about it. I mean, it's not anymore, okay, let's do it. But there's
Mhm.
something coming in my mind. I say, is that okay for the planet? Is that not okay for the planet? Which is the best way? And yeah, I'm trying to train myself to that.
Yes, yes. Me too. I try to be conscious about what I do. Well, maybe I do most things. Maybe I'm more of a four.
Yeah, it's your
Would
culture.
I, Urania, what could we put you down for? Would Are you a four also? Do you think, or a five,
Can
or
you
three?
repeat the question?
What what quale voto diresti a te questi? What what would you give yourself for your values for the environment?
I think height, because I found out environment and my politician activity is for employment, non so come si dice,
To
to make
implement?
better, sì, better the rules of my country, the rules of my
Mm,
country, Italy, like the also Europe, because every country works for these goals.
yes, yeah. And it must be difficult because you're changing culture, right? It's very cultural for these things, and it's hard to move, I would imagine. Challenging.
The problem that everybody take this problem with very delay, no? Because it's late to give a solution after all these years where everybody thinks only about itself without
Mhm.
thinking the consequence of the environment.
True, true. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a gift we're giving to our children if we take care of the
To
environment.
say thank you, Greta Thunberg, because she has a grand honor to talk about this argument strongly.
Mm. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Good thinking. Okay, so we've got these. So my score, I put a 3.5. Now, think about these individual actions that we can take to help the environment. Switch
Like
off lights when you leave a room.
ah,
1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Okay for that. For me, it's maybe 3. I should do more.
my English is not so outly to know these specific words, but during my last years, but from 10 years
Mhm.
before Greta Thunberg, I be careful about the water, about plastic, instead paper or things like this. And I like to give my dress for a circular economy because, like every woman, I buy a lot of dress, but the old dress I will give to my friends.
Oh, yes. And buying high quality clothing too really helps
Sì.
in its way.
Like a circular economy.
Yes, yes. So, Urania, have you got questo è difficile capire questi paroli?
Quali?
No, questi, hai detto che hai problemi di capire questi?
Specifiche perché parlo un inglese turistico, non parlo un inglese, diciamo, non so come si dice magari spazzatura in inglese, non mi viene il termine. Conosco
Sì.
plastic, paper, ma non spazzatura, per esempio, o
Ah,
energie
sì.
rinnovabili. Non
Sì, sì.
conosco, diciamo, un linguaggio tecnico.
Mhm. Ok, well, possiamo andare un po' lento, però il trucco è che non devi capire tutto, soltanto il senso. Se tu capisci switch off,
Ok.
light, leave, room, hai capito? E questo, quando stiamo ancora imparando, fai così, prendi il senso e poi più esperienza hai in inglese, più puoi rifinare i dettagli. But switch off light, when you leave a room, per me è soltanto tre. È una cosa my wife always says, oh, why don't you switch off the lights? I sometimes forget. Put on a jumper. Put on a
Yes,
jumper. Yes. Put on a jumper rather than turning up the heat.
because
Yes.
my work requires that I am always elegant because I
Oh,
go in
so it's
the
nice in the winter, but in the summer, very
summer,
warm.
winter, we mind. We have to have sì, devo avere. I must have a jacket always.
Oh, yes. Yes, I see. So,
Appear elegant. Not I am elegant, but with a jacket I can try to be elegant better and easy
yeah, yeah.
and easy.
Well, that helps. Yeah, so stiamo parlando con Urania tanto, però Laura, se tu ci sei, tu puoi parlare senza problemi, anche c'è una user. Se ci sei, tu puoi parlare anche te. Siamo per tutti this discussion. So put on a jumper, put on heating. I don't do that. I'm a two. Two. Io sono del Canada. I tell my wife all the time because in the winter, inside, it's 22 degrees. In the summer, it's 22 degrees. I don't know why, if I'm comfortable in a t shirt at 22 degrees in the summer and the winter, it's 22 degrees. So I have to put a 2, unfortunately. Avoid buying something with a lot of packaging. This is an important thing if we want to save on plastic. I'm pretty good at that. So I'm going to put 4. Your own shopping bag
Me it's 5, this one. For me
when
it's
you go
5.
shop. 5, yes.
And it's a shopper, no?
It's a shopper, yeah, shopping bag. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then we've got use public transport instead of driving. This is something in Latina, at least, it's a bit of a challenge.
Same in Umbria. Example, when I lived in Berlin or Lyon or like Sydney, I used to take transport instead of driving a push bike with a cycle. But in here, it's a bit more challenging, as you say. Even if now, example, our city offer electric little bus, I would say, that may turn around the old town, the historical old town, and it's kind of really nice. It's finally something nice also for the environment.
True, true, true. And for tourism and for environment, and you don't have to take your own car.
Yeah.
Yes. Walk or cycle.
Yes,
Well,
Umbria offer a lot for walk, as you say, hiking and walk and with all these sweet hills around. I would go 5 for me there.
Yes. Also for your actions day to day. So walking to the supermarket or walking to your appointment. Buy recycled toilet paper.
Yes.
So it costs a little bit extra when it's recycled. Avoid
Yeah,
taking
it's
flights. Yes.
to me now it's a good, almost good manner to always get products that are less dangerous for our environment. You know, same as could be recycled toilet paper, but could be also many different things. So, I don't know. Stop to buying plastic plates. That in Italy, it's a really big. Like everybody, when you invite somebody or someone for dinner, and you're a bit lazy, I would say, to wash after, they all buy plastic. You know, always plastic glass, plastic thing, and those are really bad for environment. We should move to the papers one, but the price is still a bit high. But yeah, I try to
Mm-hmm.
get paper one always now.
Yes. Yeah. As long as sometimes you can drop your,
And let's see, you have to
but it's good. It's good. And avoid taking flights because I guess that's very heavy on the environment. Avoid leaving your TV on standby. So my TV is kind of on, but not really on. And turn the tap off when you're brushing your teeth. Who turns the tap off when you're brushing your teeth?
I
You do.
water.
Yes, yes. Ah, good, good.
So when I have a come si dice? Doccia non mi
Shower.
ricordo.
You take a shower. Yes.
And
Yeah.
in every situation that is not necessary water, I close it.
Yes, you turn it off. Good. Good thinking. So I give myself 3.5 here. I got
Yeah, I mean, if not like my partner is, she's always like, close to the water, close the water. You have to also choose the right green partner, let's say.
yeah. Yeah, choose the right green part. I'm married to an expert at on this renewable energy. She's like, yeah. Anyway, but anyway, we've got switch off lights. So I've got 3 plus 2, 5. That's 10. 4. I put 4 down. 14. 0. Can't really do that. 14. So add everything up and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And see if it matches the score you gave yourself here. Because in theory,
Yeah.
they should be the same. I got 3.2. I got 32 divided by 10, 3.2, which is a little bit lower than what I thought it would be. Did you guys get about the same as what you thought?
I got 3, yes.
3. Good. Okay. To break the ice. Do you like grammar?
What? Grammar?
Do you like grammar?
English
Yeah.
grammar or Italian grammar?
Oh, well, I don't know about Italian grammar. L'italiano è un po' così, come si, come sa. But English grammar, do you like it? Ti piace?
But
Nobody likes grammar.
I think nobody likes to study in general, but grammar is necessary to study if you want to speak in English.
Yes. Well, I've got a little touch, ok? Questo non è una lezione di grammatica,
No, esatto.
però io voglio creare una situazione in cui quando parliamo possiamo parlare del futuro usando una cosa di grammatica, 2.
Ok.
Allora, 10, 5 minuti, ti spiego una cosa molto veloce e poi proviamo ad usare.
Okay.
So I've got this here. Let me grab this. Okay, present perfect. Si chiama present perfect. So I have eaten a sandwich. This is called present perfect. Forse avete imparato questo tempo fa a scuola. It's subject have or has, she has. E poi questo è the third participle, so I have eaten, I have seen, I have run. Questa cosa qua. It's called present perfect, ma parli di una cosa del passato. Does anybody know why it's... Se parla di qualcosa del passato, perché si chiama present perfect? Present perfect. Avete mai pensato? Present.
In every language, when you speak about the past, use the present perfect or past simple.
Yes, and well, it has an effect on me presently. The reference is present. So, successo nel passato, però has an effect. Forse ho mangiato il panino 2 secondi fa, o forse un anno fa.
Mm-hmm.
But the reference is the present. And if I move that reference, let's see, past perfect. I move the reference. Yesterday, when you called, ok, con questa frase ho spostato the reference. Oh, il passato di have. Il passato di have is had. That's it, had. Allora ho spostato reference e questo past perfect vuol dire che ho mangiato prima che abbiamo quella reference. It's called past perfect. I call it the super past. Now, la cosa che vogliamo fare oggi, future, invece di spostare indietro, lo sposto avanti. So, by va benissimo. By this evening, il futuro di have.
Will have.
Future.
But this is very...
E tu hai detto che non parli bene inglese. Ok, I will have eaten a sandwich. Ho spostato reference con una piccola frase e poi non sai quando mangio il panino, però prima che quello evento prima. So here is really good when we're talking about the future because not by this evening, by 2030, we will have, I don't know, updated our infrastructure. It's very useful to talk about energy and the future usando questi. Mette una base, futuro, will have e poi questo è the third participle. E stiamo dicendo prima di quel punto, questo succede. So by 2023, I will have updated our infrastructure. Easy, facile, vero? Sposti e poi change will have. Little touch of grammar. Another little thing though, we have this. We'll put simple. We'll put simple because continuous would be I am eating a sandwich. Questo is continuous. E vuol dire che sto mangiando adesso, panino. Sono in progresso. It's continuous. Let's turn this. This can be green. Say present perfect. And this. Present continuous. Se loro vanno insieme. Copy. Oh, it'll third participle of to be. I have been, perché ricordo con present perfect dopo have third participle, ok, there, ecco. Questo is present perfect continuous, che ho iniziato una cosa nel passato e sto ancora facendo e sto in progress adesso. E poi questo is nice to say since 3 p.m., che è molto lungo, però this is continuous. E poi lo stesso trucco, questo è present perfect, fai muro e cambia have, e se fai così, by 2023, we will be, e poi un verbo con ing, we will be, I don't know, driving, electric cars. Soltanto per dire. Questo, the focus is on the result, and this is the focus is on la cosa che stiamo facendo in quel momento. Ok? So that's just our touch of grammar, e questi sono molto comodo quando tu vuoi parlare del futuro, del cambiamenti, and how Italy can manage our green energy. Qualche domanda? O dubbio?
No, diciamo, forse qualche frase in più è meglio. Some,
Qualche esempio?
it's better if you can make some sentences that you have
Sure.
to use the present continuous, present perfect, and past simple.
Oh, present continuous. Okay, present continuous is this.
I said that I am eating is present continuous, no? I am
Sì, con essere e poi ing. E quando tu vedi ing, it's continuous. Allora c'è un inizio fine e stai facendo adesso. So I am eating a sandwich. Invece di I eat a sandwich è una cosa che di solito faccio, non sto facendo adesso. So I eat sandwiches. Questo è un'abitudine. It's present simple, and it's simple just because we have to add an S sometimes. Okay? This was just a touch of grammar. But if anybody, I can go deep into anything. We're just a few people here. I eat sandwiches. I am eating a sandwich. Or another example, I live in Latina. Okay. That's the truth. No start, yes. No finish. If I can say, I am living in Latina, nella mente mio c'è un inizio fine, magari per quest'anno. Io sto pensando di andare via. Magari. Non è permanente. So we have this and this. This has a start and an end. So I am eating a sandwich. I started 10 minutes ago and I'll finish in 5. Okay, and then perfect is experience. Have you ever been to New York? Nella vita tua. Have you ever been to New York? Una buona domanda. Sempre con have. And then the participle here. Però parla del passato. Forse tu puoi dire sì, ieri sono tornato. Or 3 years ago. L'importanza non è quando, l'importanza è che ha fatto. And that's what we're talking about here. Che ha fatto. Stiamo facendo. Pro, no, futuro. So, for today, if you write down these examples, you can use it in our discussions today. And then using it, it becomes part of you. We go back to this here, a touch of grammar. So this is the explanation. The rain will have stopped by this afternoon. By this afternoon, questo è un muro. And then this is will have with the participle. These are some examples. I just put it for reference because I thought it would just be a little grammar lesson, but you'll get this PDF after. So if anybody wants to take a deep dive, they can take a deep dive. This here, though, is, let me check something. So this here has the focus on the focus is will be finished before, so it's the result. It'll be finished. And this here, the focus is it will be doing it in the future. So I am eating a sandwich. I'm doing it now. Do this. I'm doing it in the future. Okay? But we're here to discuss. So let's discuss some of these things using those examples. Actually, I'll write some examples in the chat. If you guys have the chat, if anybody wants to look at the chat, I buy this. Actually, let's do it this way. Kind of going off script, but that's okay because we're just a few people. This here is one example, and this is the other example. Okay. And with the school, when we do actual English classes, we can go deep into grammar. Let's go ahead and do this discussion here. So get our opinion. Whoever can speak. So there's Urania, there's Laura, there's Federica, there's the person called user. If you want to speak, you can speak, okay? In 20 years' time, everyone will be using their own reusable shopping bags, cups, and bottles. Who thinks?
In 20 years' time, everyone will be using.
Do you think that's true?
I hope that, but I don't know if we'll be like that. My fear is that wait some big natural events or something like that to say, okay, it's happening, you know. So like that's my fear. Maybe not 20 years time for that, but I hope so. I hope even less.
Hopefully, yes. And we were talking about this with the cups, and you were talking about the plates and things, and the bottles.
Yeah, because speaking with people like around me or something like that, if you say them like, well, don't buy plastic. In Italy, that's why we also do this those meetings, no, to try to enlighten the problem and try to give importance to the things. Like these people can realize that it's really important, that it is actually our planet.
True. True. Hey, I noticed that there's a new guest here. Tesevald.
Tesbal, yes.
Tesevald. Welcome, Tesevald. So if you want to speak, you can speak. Turn on the camera. Oh, hello. There we have.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes.
Yes. Hi. Hi. Sorry, I didn't join all the conversation. Sorry for the delay. I was quite busy and I couldn't make it in time. But yeah, I'm glad of this interesting conversation. So basically, we are talking about energy transition, electric cars, gas, oil. Is that what the topic?
That's what the topic is, yes, and what Italy's role might be in that too, that transition. So
Well,
so far you just missed the big grammar lesson, so you just came in the right time.
yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. Well, it's good to have you.
Yeah, thank you. It's kind of my environment. So basically, I'm into innovation technology, environmental science in some kind of way. So I'm an entrepreneur working on sustainable solution. So yeah, I'm in this space since long time, but officially from 2021. So basically, I kind of my opinion. I'm sorry that I didn't follow your pitch, and I would like, if you have a deck, then you can share to me. I would love to have a look at it. But yeah, I can share my opinion about it. And so as now, I believe, and the recent studies, so we are talking about electric cars and this energy transition, which seems great. But at the moment it is not. It's absolutely the contrary. So I would say that at the moment we are in a place where solar panels is one of the best energy solution, but the most of the energy comes still from fossil fuels. So all electric cars that we don't see, actually, imagine that we would have all electric cars at the moment. So like all the world will have replaced by electric cars, all the cars, all the transport by electric. So you would see that you will have more carbon emission per car than you actually have by owning a diesel car. So actually, the fact of owning a car, of electric car, it's indirect thing. So basically, you don't have the right immediate understanding of the pollution that you have, but you have in the background. It's less costly because there is a big infrastructure and is not singular, but it will the price of electricity, as you can see, actually the energy is increasing all over the world, and it will continue to increase. So that's my opinion at the moment. I see India, for example, is doing a very big job in installing solar panels, so that's great. Is actually the point is that their facility of plants of coals are not shutting down. So basically, we are increasing as a population, we are increasing our needs, and we also increasing the energy consumption because we have more service and products availability that needs energy. So actually, electric cars, just to finish, is not a solution. I believe more in gas, so turning into gas. Hydrogen, it might be a solution. It's not at all now, not at all. I believe that hydrogen is like energy storage, like electricity. So basically, that's, well, it's like a battery. I believe that hydrogen is essentially a battery. At the moment, I don't see. I think it's better electric cars than hydrogen car. But yeah, that's maybe my point of view. I'm not an engineer, so just
well, it sounds like you've got a lot to contribute. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. You say you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about your company, or what do you do? What does your company do?
yeah. So basically, yeah, I'm creating. Well, I started my. So why I know a lot about transportation is because when I was studying, was starting my studies in UK as aviation airport management, and I was actually working in an airport in a bus company, one of the biggest in of UK, which is called the National Express. I was working in this bus company. Basically, what I did, I transformed this bus. I could make a bus run for 50 cents, 100 kilometers. Today, I had also a meeting with one of your organizers, which is Mauro. So he already heard this story. So, but yeah, basically, I could turn a diesel bus into hydrogen, petrol, gas, methane, LPG. So I mean, by gas. So you can just switch, and then you could make the best. The CO2 emission per kilometer was the methane, because has less carbon per kilo than the others, and has more energy efficient. So I saw that actually the best solution for a long term is actually the gas. Petrol is not bad. Usually the normal petrol is not bad for the environment. The CO2 that is emitted by petrol is not bad for your health or for the environment. Diesel, unfortunately, it is, because we have the catalytics, which is unhealthy for humans. And yeah, the particles are too low at the moment, too small, and so that's actually creating a very big problem and stays more in the air. But yeah, basically that's what I was starting from, and then, well, that's why I was talking about transportation. And yeah, and right now actually I'm creating a waterless toilet technology that might be something interesting for the future.
You're creating, so you're like a developer, you're like an inventor, or
Yeah, I am
have
the
you got
one
a
that's
team?
I am the one that invented the technology behind. But of course, I'm not an engineer. I studied economy, and that obviously I was passionate about engineering. But yeah, I'm collaborating with some engineers to do it. But yeah, the idea is
Smart.
mine.
Yeah, very smart guy, and young smart guy too. So
For the smart.
we have Eduardo on an iPhone too, so anybody can join this conversation here. It's a discussion on renewable energy and environmental issues that and Italy's part on it. So right now we're talking about just in general, but we'll talk about what Italy's part is in these. Let's back to the discussion here. So how will we be living in 20 years' time? Does anybody agree with this? Fossil fuels like coal and gas will be very expensive. Most people have installed solar panels or wind turbines in their houses, or blocks of flats to generate their electricity. Do you think that this is a possibility in 20 years?
I did
or maybe
it.
It's already happened.
Sorry to my intervention again. So I just did it right 2 days ago in my apartment. We have 6 kilowatt hour plus battery storage. The fact is that it is convenient. You could actually detach from the grid and be fully autonomous, maybe with the double size battery and solar panel. So we overproduce already our own consumption. The fact is that you still have taxes. So at the moment, you will never be free from the system. That's the fact. That's my simple consideration. In 20 years, I think fossil fuels, what do you mean? Which kind of fossil fuels? Do you mean gas, petrol, diesel? All of them?
All of those, yeah, that come from dead animals. The fossil fuels.
I think as scientist says, in 40 years, the petrol will end for the reserves that are stored in the ground. In 20 years, of course, inflation, that already is happening every day. Scarcity is happening still, so of course it will.
Well, what has Italy been doing? Anybody know? Is there like some bonus? Has Italy been giving bonuses to people who install 50%?
Uh,
Is that a good solution?
what do you mean?
Well, Italy lately has been giving bonuses for people who install solar panels. Perhaps instead of giving bonuses, from my understanding, you said that we'll never be rid of the taxes, like have to pay taxes, and it's not cost effective that way.
Well, they give bonuses, but I'm not sure that the bonus are real, because actually I remember when I didn't do it with the bonus, so we paid our own installation. We managed to do it because actually my dad also is an entrepreneur in the field of construction. So we did it ourselves. We just bought the material and installed it. Of course, for us, which was cheaper. But I remember on the beginning, we were asking some companies were doing the bonus, was 90% bonus at the time. And actually the final cost was 19,000, and we just spent half of that. So with another company did it without the fund, so the 50% or 90% in that case, and actually we spent much less without the fund. So actually it's, you understand that it's a game of money, so that has nothing to do with the energy efficiency.
I see. Well, now let's take a look at waste. In 20 years' time, do you guys think that people will be recycling nearly 100% of their waste? And those who don't will have to pay a fine. Shops and cafes will have stopped using plastic bags and single-use containers. Is this already happening here in Italy, in your opinion?
Oh no, it's not an opinion. Actually, I do have some data. Italy was one of is in Europe one of the solution provider for recycling top in Europe. So basically, Italy is in the probably top 5 solution recycling in Europe. We have many companies that they do provide solution for recycling. We have the highest at the moment. Okay, we had some problems with landfills, maybe more problems that other countries had the beginning, especially from 1950 to up to 80s, 90s probably, but the last 30 years has been very good in many terms. So for example, I know, for example, you know those fake wood, plywood, you know, the wood, you know, that you buy
Laminate?
Laminate, yeah.
Yeah,
Instead
laminate.
of wood in your house, you have those material.
Yes, laminate
Exactly.
flooring. Yeah, laminates. Yes.
Yeah, those ones basically is a recycled wood, the recycling system for wood. The one of the technology, the best technology in the world actually comes from ITR, which is an Italian company, because as in Italy we didn't have wood, so we were exporting wood from other countries, and we didn't. And on the end, what happened that we had a lot of wood was going to the landfills, and then they thought, okay, let's turn the wood into a desk. So they created this factory, and is one of the best factory at the moment in Italy. Very successful in all Europe. For example, IKEA use them as a furniture. Yeah, but in plastic recycling, they are very good in Italy. So I think we have a very high rate of recycling. Of course,
Can
we
I
are not.
add one thing? I
Yes.
just want to say that I think Italy is also one of the, not only, but not many countries like provide straight to families, no, the different bin. It's a little thing, but it does. Example, in Germany you have different bin, but you don't have your own. Same in France, you have different bin in your building for everybody, but you have to do yourself inside your house the recycling, no, the different bins. But Italy at least gave you already the beans. The beans we gave you. No, everybody has his own beans. There is not the bean of one family. Sorry, there is not one bean for all the families, but there is each family has his own bean. And this is already like a step forward to, I guess, to people that, I don't know, culturally a bit less ready for that or something. You can give, it's a push to do it. You know, this I find it okay, because in the other countries where I lived, this was not. I can tell you one thing, Berlin, for example, people like, you know, a lot of young people living WG, how they call, together in the same house, nobody recycles there. Because you have one bin, there's already 5 people in 60 meters square, one bin, and you know, that's not helpful. If, you know, the little thing of the bin for me is a start, at least.
Yeah, and then you've got the feeling that your neighbor should be recycling too. And if you see that your neighbor doesn't recycle, then you might be more hesitant to do that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Also, you know, trying to speak people about, you know, to try to make people aware of the facts and aware of the data, as Desival was saying, you know, like this is important when people have something like they can read and see, oh, okay, these are the data, not so well, so let's try to do something, you know, I guess.
Yes. Well, that's waste. Let's talk about transport. Governments will have invested a lot of money in public transport in 20 years. In our opinion, we could agree with it or we can disagree with it. Everyone will be cycling, walking, or using bus and train more. Low-cost airlines will have disappeared. And flights will be much more expensive. With the great weather in Italy, why don't people bike more? I
wonder. What do you mean, bike more?
Yeah, like cycle, like bike to work. Like people, like you go to northern
the geography.
Europe.
The geography doesn't help. For example, in Umbria, because you should have a electric push bike, let's say, because, for example, if I want to come at work, I have every day to do 400 meters going up, you know, and this doesn't help. And also, streets are not ready for that. Not everywhere, you know, like they're not. It's really difficult to find a lane for bikes. You know, even for walk, imagine for bikes. We're a bit in the back with that.
True, because those streets have been designed for horse carriage and things like that, right? The cobblestones. Yeah. Okay. And then we've got water. Farmers will have stopped producing meat commercially and many kinds of fish will have died out. Do you think this is possible in 20 years?
This is already happening. So that's, that's something very bad, actually, I believe. I think that as you understand, climate change, as you are, I think, older than me, so probably you witness more than me the climate change. And the climate change actually is something that is really happening. Started to shifting in 3 seasons, not 4 seasons. When I was younger, I remember that the winter, really, you could feel the winter when winter was coming. Now autumn and winter is like mixed together in Italy. So, and also here I can see that the rivers during the summer, I never witnessed the bigger river in Italy like the Po or other to completely drain, no water. So now we can see that like Italy is becoming like Africa very soon. So like we will have to go, we will have to migrate somewhere else. So actually the water availability, it's a very big issue everywhere. So there are, for example, in Italy, there are places where the state says don't open the water for irrigation system during those hours time, because the water during those hours is used for farmers or for more which makes more sense to use for. And I think we use a lot of water for the way that we use the water is most of that wasted. already the system, underground system, has 70% in the Europe. We lose 70% of water. So because we have leaks underground, and the leaks actually is the most that we lose water from. And actually, you have to
So
also
the leaks in the
understand
piping
yeah, the underground
in the aqueduct, yeah.
yeah, aqueduct. Yeah, actually, that's one of the biggest problem in Europe. The second biggest problem worldwide is that the way that we use water, we could be as comfortable with less water. For example, that's why I was this is kind of my topic because I'm creating a waterless toilet. So like imagine that the ratio that we use for sewage is 1 to 5. So for each kilo human waste, we use 5 liters of 5 liters of water, 50 liters. Sorry, 50 liters for 1 to 50. So for each kilo of human waste is 50. So you understand that it's quite big number, and so if you make it that a population of 8 billion, but not all 8 billion use the current system, search system. So I would say 3 billion. I did an estimation. So basically, we have in Italy, the biggest lake in Italy is a 50 kilometer cubic, which is Lago di Garda, if I'm not mistaken. And 50 kilometer cubic, we can recreate 2 of the biggest lake in Italy each year by saving the water from sewage system. So yeah, that's
Wow, you are knowledgeable
Great.
on these things. Wow, learning so much from you. So you do this with passion, right? So you did this with the buses, and now you're doing this with the toilets, and for passion, but also for your work. But
yeah.
why the shift between energy and wastewater and waste?
Well, the point is that it's not a shift because I always been thinking since I'm actually this thing since I'm very young has been put in my mind for recycling system, the climate change. I think to everybody. The point is stayed there for a long time, like kind of a sleeping. And then I always thought about climate change. How I don't like people saying, okay, stop petrol, stop plastic, or going to the street and says, let's stop the road. I don't like that. I don't like complaining if you don't provide a solution.
I like
I
your
think that
thinking there.
I like to provide a solution. I like to understand the problem deeply, and then to see how can I solve it. Can it be solved? Yes. How? That's how I go through it. So and then you go to start studying and doing the things. And if it happens that you have a good solution, then you have to carry on. So that's the way that I do it.
Good. And we haven't forgotten about you, Laura. And user, anybody who wants to chime in to the conversation, you're more than welcome, or you can write in the chat, and then I can see you and I can introduce you.
It's a shy meeting.
It is. Well, shy, but I mean, we're learning.
Oh, we got Festival, we did the Urania. That's going good.
Yeah, I mean, this year was the thing, but we already kind of talked about this. The weather in 20 years we'll be having extreme weather, and we've been feeling this lately. Like,
yeah.
I remember when I was a kid in Canada, it would snow for Christmas. Every year there would be snow at Christmas. And last year, no snow.
Yeah. I can say the same about Berlin too. I moved there in 2014 and I had 2 months of snow. Snow stays in the ground. The temperature was staying low, so the snow will stay. And the last year I spent there was 2022, no snow at all. And every year was the hottest summer of the century. Always the hottest summer, And now
yes.
honestly, snow. It's still snowing, but half of the morning is already gone.
True, it doesn't stay. It's just like a flutter of snow.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at what Italy's role is, which is in fact what this paradigm shift, what the scope of the webinar is today. Italy's role in all of this. So, green technology in energy production. What are green technologies in energy production? Any ideas what they're talking about here? Some of the green technologies
Well,
in the production? I mentioned a few.
hydro, wind,
Hydro, wind,
solar.
solar. What
And
about
then
nuclear? Is
there
that
are
green?
the kinetic energy one. So
Mhm.
basically, the movement of the wind, well, all of them are kinetic, but yeah, apart the solar, but the movement of the sea, you know, that they transform the sea movement into energy. So the wave.
Tides.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
With the tide, with different tide, no? The movement of
With
the
the
Yeah,
sea.
yeah, the wave, yeah. And yeah, so
yeah,
basically, I think there is thermal as well, thermal energy, so from the ground,
like
very
the
deep
thermal
underground.
energy.
Yeah,
Yes.
thermal
Yeah.
energy as well.
Yeah, we kind of
So
touched on those hydroelectric power, geothermal energy, and then
yeah,
biomass energy. What's
yeah.
that?
Biomass energy is basically gas and oil.
Mhm.
I believe so. If it's a biomass, it's gas and oil. Actually, one of the best recycling system that exists as today is pyrolysis system. The pyrolysis is not burning, but heating up a biomass. You can take any kind of biomass that you think about, wood, paper, or I don't know, any kind of biomass that you can think of, bananas, books,
Banana peels.
yeah,
You
anything,
know.
anything.
Yes.
So you can take those biodegradable biomass stuff, you can throw it in a chamber, heat up the chamber up to over 200 to 400 degrees, depends of which technique you are using. But apart from that, what is happening is that you see that molecular shifting, and it from one side you will have char, which is biochar, and from the other side you will have pure gas and the oil. So we actually what's happening without a condition of air, so without oxidation, you in a closed environment and heating up, the molecule will try to separate. They separate actually, and when they separate, actually you will understand that oil and gas are the basic of the life. So everything that we are used to have, we think of biodegradable, eats oil and gas.
Hmm. Wow. With all this explanation, I haven't been sharing my screen so that you can get the spotlight here while you were speaking. But on the PDF that you'll get, you'll end up with these things here. So, kind of the questions that we were going through, which is what we were doing. What's Italy's role here? Green technologies, reducing carbon emissions. So, do you work with buses still, or did you get out of that business?
Oh,
Have
no,
you
no,
gotten out of that business?
I don't.
Yeah. So, carbon emissions, why are carbon emissions a concern? Anybody?
Well, it's not a concern. The problem is that, as I see, maybe I'm mistaken, but probably it's like if you eat 100 grams of pasta, you are good. If you eat 1 kilo of pasta per day, you will not feel good. The point is that we are consuming a lot of carbon to every day, so that's the main problem. So we produce more than we absorb, and that is it's becoming more and more problematic. But actually, you can solve this problem by creating new forest. So that's something very it's not easy to do it, of course, but it's something understandable. But by also the new technology, you can reduce the carbon emission. That carbon emission is not the real problem at the moment. Is actually the contrary, not burning gases. Not burning gases is one of the main problems of this world, and not burning gas, so actually leaving gas in the nature, in the air. That's very bad. I'm pro gas actually, so that's clear. I'm also pro electricity, but as now is not very efficient. I hope that in the future will become more more resilient and better.
Yes. Okay, now we're talking about economic. What is the ecological balance and why it's important? Why is it important? Ecological balance. What do you guys think that means?
Balance between, I don't know, maybe what you waste and what you.
Yes,
example,
and
try.
true, and it's the equilibrium between living organisms, like such as plants and animals, and their environment. So it's all about stability.
Yes, and also try to don't do something that will harm them balance too, like, or I don't know, for example, could be you don't have to cut this tree because those bees and some animals are eating out of the tree. If you put away the tree after, maybe they don't have food anymore. That's a little example to explain the thing.
But it's a real example, which is good.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
tangible. Yes. What are some strategies for promoting this ecological balance in agriculture?
Well, I have some suggestions, if I may.
Yes.
I believe that the agriculture actually, as now we are shifting. See improving the technologies behind. We are slowly shifting, but at the moment, the way that we produce food is not sustainable for the land use. I believe that because if you think about it, we have storage, so like we have very big tall buildings that the human lives, and why don't we do that for production of fruits? So there are some places that some initiative like that have been doing to have the vertical farming, for example. You can see some of them, big buildings, big infrastructure where they do different kind of farming and they plant different plants. I think that is something that we should look at.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I have to go to another meeting. I wanted to thank you, Scott, because it has been very, very, very interesting, extremely interesting. So I thank you very much. And I hope to be in touch soon again for other projects.
Sure, it's a pleasure,
Thank
Stefania.
you.
See you next
Facciamo
time.
un bel applauso a Scott, davvero bravissimo. E diamo la parola invece a Omar, perché a tutte le persone che hanno partecipato abbiamo ovviamente un piccolo regalo e naturalmente anche qualche informazione su tutte le attività.
Allora, io sono Omar Aristei, come potete vedere nella scritta, mi occupo di vendita qui per The Language Center. Noi siamo un'agenzia formativa per privati, per aziende e manager di loro team, e da 35 anni seguiamo la loro formazione linguistica in tutto il territorio italiano, diciamo, e anche all'estero. Oltre ad offrire corsi di inglese per italiani, offriamo anche corsi di italiano per stranieri. Collaboriamo con molte università americane, anche con varie collaborazioni anche in tutta Europa, diciamo. Facciamo dei percorsi sia di gruppo che individuali e offriremo lezioni di public speaking a chi vediamo chi sarà il vincitore che uscirà da questo webinar. Per qualunque altra cosa io invierò a tutti le slide di Scott e la registrazione del webinar, chiaramente. E poi per quanto riguarda le nostre nuove attività, stay tuned, because tramite WhatsApp e altre piattaforme noi siamo sempre attivi anche nel comunicare i nostri webinar, i nostri programmi, le nostre nuove attività e tutto chiaramente sempre all'insegna della formazione linguistica e chiaramente con un occhio al green e all'environment.
Grazie davvero Omar, ma
I would say
soprattutto
the
grazie
start.
a Scott, davvero fantastico, stra interessante, grazie a tutte le persone
Grazie mille,
che hanno
Scott.
partecipato.
Grazie a te, Tibald, anche per il tuo bellissimo intervento e per il tuo knowledge. Grazie.
True. Very
Benvenuto,
knowledgeable.
benvenuto Tessivald. Buon lavoro a
My
tutti,
pleasure. Thank you. Grazie a tutti.
buon lavoro a tutti e grazie
Buona
per aver
serata allora a
partecipato. A
tutti.
presto.
Serata, it's been a pleasure.